Welcome back to our channels, Warriors. We are still growing. If you haven't had that guy that always jumps on your hood and tries to wash your windshield when you're coming across the border, smash that subscribe button. Go and have him smash it right now. First and foremost, let me give a shout out to the following patrons: Trailero760, El Skid, Nathan, Scott, aka Hobie Cat, Mika Boy, Lead with Love, Charles, Albert 12, Soulstar LA, AI Vega, Esquiel, Miguel, Big Bad 48, JT, Nova, Jack, Linda, Michigan Wolverines, Marius, Chevelle 66, Gigi, Abuelita's Journey, and Daus Herrero. If you have not already signed up for that Patreon, make sure you hit that link in the description below. You are definitely missing out. This episode right here, man, probably my most powerful message that I can convey. Something that I care dearly about and something that I had to endure. I had to see it for myself to be able to come out and speak on such a subject. The subject of power. Absolute power corrupts absolutely. It almost seems like everything that's happened in my damn life has amounted to this moment right here. You see, I was a young soldier in Iraq, 19 years old. Well, I joined when I was 17, right? A kid. Off to Iraq I go, 13 months deployment. I got to see and participate firsthand in what abuse of power looks like. For instance, Saddam Hussein. He was a dictator. He was evil. You know, there was a lot of houses that were used as torture houses. You could still see the blood on the walls, the dry blood. You know, we raided a house in Samara one time when we took over the city of Samara. And there was a young boy in the center of the room, tied to a sandbag. This kid had to have been like 6 or 7 years old, from the ankle. And the reason his family tied him to the center of the room with the sandbag was because he was mentally ill. He was had some kind of disability, so they didn't want him, I guess, escaping or leaving or wandering off. I don't know, but as a young private first class specialist, I seen that, right? I seen a lot of things. I've seen the destruction of car bombs. I've seen death as a result of corrupt power. Now fast forward to the California Department of Corrections, where I did 16 years as an officer, a sergeant, and a lieutenant. Man, everything's making sense now. Why I had to see what I had to see to be able to come out and speak on this. Blue side and green side. Let's go with blue side. It's no surprise that there's different levels, rank systems, as you can say, quote unquote, right? At the top of the higher echelon are the most powerful men. They carry a lot of power. Simply by their words, they can make a lot happen, right? They can end life. Think about what I just said. With words, they can end life, right? The job will get done, they can make it happen. That is power. How many times as a lieutenant did I speak to men sitting across the table from me on an SNY yard, where I looked at their C file on Psalms on the computer, and I seen that at one point in time they were definitely a somebody, right? I'm talking about associates. I'm talking about members of their own organization. And I look, and they're 50 years old, 55, 60 years old. And I say, what happened, man? What happened? You used to be a somebody, right? And I'm not saying that in a disrespectful way. They knew they weren't receiving that in a disrespectful way. That's not the way the conversation was going. So what happened? I got tired, man. I got tired. I got tired of the politics. I got tired of the games. I got tired of the BS. 55 years old, 60 years old. Their life has a good chunk. I'm not going to say their whole entire life. A good chunk has been, would you say, thrown away? Utilized, right? Utilized. And I'm going to get to Greenside, don't trip. Because they were indoctrinated at a young age to believe in this belief system. You grow up in the hood, you become part of this street gang, you go off to prison, you put in your work, and maybe one day you will be at the top yourself, right? I'm telling you what I've seen firsthand. I'm telling you how many guys I talked to on SNY yards that if you look at their paperwork, they got batteries with weapons, riots, participation in the riots. No doubt that these dudes were soldiers in their own cause, in their own right, putting in the work. So then how did they end up on the other side, right? Politics. Power. Somebody with a lot of power exerting that on individuals. And I told you, in war and in prison, people die. Oh, they die. I've seen it. Right? Greenside, as a young officer, 8 years, Centinela, putting in work, as they say, participating in riots. Well, quelling riots, being a participant in a massive fucking riot, participating in staff assaults, right? Oh, Hector, kudos to you, man. You're solid, right? You're solid. That's. And for who and for what? For somebody above me sitting in a powerful chair in Sacramento headquarters, whatever that is, 1515 South, to be making these dumb fucking calls, these dumb fucking decisions. They're not even dumb. They're purpose driven. It's created by design, exerting their power for personal gain, for agendas. But in this game, people die. It's not a fucking game. People are playing for keeps here. How many CEOs have we seen stabbed? We've seen it. We've been part of it. Seeing the bloody ass jumpsuit. Seeing the pool of blood on the ground. RJD Donovan, Bravo Yard. When that captain was over familiar with that individual on Blue Side. That got 2 cops fucking stabbed almost to death. Bad. And I say stabbing, not to mention one got beat the fuck up with his own baton, crushed his fucking face. Right? I seen that cop at the hospital. Probably a total of 6 times. A couple times I went on my own. Dude couldn't even talk the first fucking 4 times. If I can convey a message to my 4-year-old daughter, right, to me this is the most powerful. It is to be aware, self-aware, and to never abuse power, right? If she's anything like me, she's going to have that drive, she's going to have that motivation, she's going to have that to go the distance, right, to make something of herself. And with that comes power. I mean, I was a lieutenant, right? You wear the rank on your collar. You get on the badge on the bottom, it says lieutenant. That in its own right, it carries some power, carries some weight. And you better believe I didn't abuse that, right? Did I have to use that power at times? Yeah, man. When I had to check some cops when they got out of line. When I had to lock up inmates when they got out of line. Yeah, that was part of my duties, right? But I'm talking about abuse of power. So the message for today is you guys see what's going on in the world today. You guys see what abuse of power leads to, results in, if nobody stands up, fights against. So Hector, what the hell are you telling us? To go against the grain? What I'm telling you is to stand up for what is right. I don't give a fuck how you do it. Do it. Right? Look what it cost me. It cost me my career. I'm not asking you to put your career, your life on the line. Nah, man, there's a strategy behind all of this. Right? I tried to go up against the administrators within the prison. And you know what that resulted in with me? Getting written up. Right? You look at my history in the California Department of Corrections, I never had no disciplinary history. Despite my early on alcoholic buffoonery, my DUI, right? But as far as was I wild and out of line with it, was I getting written up for doing shit I wasn't supposed to be doing? No. You look at my write-ups, unprofessionalism towards the management. 2 or 3 investigations of insubordination, which were later determined to be unprofessionalism against the management, right? Oh, you were late on an RVR here, 115. That wasn't even your fucking 115. That belonged to another yard, right? Which is a mess. So, like, you guys see what fucked up power does, man. With that, have a good Monday, the beginning of a new week. Keep pushing forward.